Good afternoon, junior scientists. I am Teacher Kath, your science teacher adventure partner for week 1. Do you remember our lesson? The first lesson of the third quarter was all about motion. Let us go back and review some of the very important concepts that we have learned before. Motion is defined as a change in position for a particular time interval, meaning anything that has moved from one place to another, we may say that it is in motion. Just like when you walked from your house to school or drove a car to go to the mall. Point of reference, or we also call it reference point, is a place or object used for comparison to determine if something is in motion. You can easily refer to it as the starting point. They say that if something was in motion, of course, the final position should be different from your reference point. Distance refers to the total length of the path traveled by an object, and commonly we use units such as meters, kilometers, and miles to express the length of the distance. In illustrations, distance is represented by a broken line. Displacement, on the other hand, refers to the shortest distance between the reference point and the final position. In illustrations, the displacement is represented by a straight line from the initial position to the final position. Let's try an example. Look at the illustration. What is the total distance? And what is the total displacement? To find the total distance, you have to trace and sum up all the distance traveled by the person. And to find the total displacement, you just need to look for the reference point and the final position, then compute for the distance. In this case, the total distance will be equal to 2 meters plus 1 meter plus 2 meters plus 2 meters plus 4 meters, which is 11 meters in total. On the other hand, the total displacement is just 1 meter, which is from the starting point to the final point. Speed tells us how fast an object moved. We usually get it by dividing the total distance traveled by an object by the time it took to travel such distance. Velocity refers to the rate of motion of a body with reference to its direction. In simple terms, it is defined as speed with direction. So you can just add direction to speed and that will be the velocity. You may use cardinal directions such as north, east, south, and west, or phases such as to the right or to the left. Constant speed refers to the rate of motion with equal distance time intervals. When we talk about constant speed, you should be able to travel the same distance under the same time interval. For example, you traveled 70 kilometers in the first hour. If you travel the distance of 70 kilometers for every hour, then you have constant speed. Constant velocity is when an object in motion is moving in a straight path at a constant speed. Acceleration is the change in velocity in respect to time. We can write it as acceleration is equal to change in velocity over change in time. In symbols, we can write it as A is equal to delta V over delta T is equal to Vf minus Vi over Tf minus Ti, where delta V is the change in velocity, which is equal to the difference between the final velocity, Vf, and initial velocity, Vi. And delta T is the change in time, which is equal to the difference between the final time, Tf, and the initial time, Ti. And remember that there is not just acceleration, which means speeding up. We also have slowing down, which is deceleration. An object is said to be accelerating when it is moving with A. Changing speeds, B. Constant speed but changing direction, and C. Changing speed as well as changing direction. And that's it for week 1, junior scientists. Till next time, see you. Bye.